Okay, so this is a set of tutorials that is going to walk you through the online application for the Going Pro Talent Fund for fiscal year 2021. And it will be helpful eventually to have your training plan handy. You will not need it for this first video because we're just going to get some basic information about your company and contact and such like that. So the first thing you'll do is go to the website I'm showing here. You will go ahead and sign in. And once you sign in, you'll just come to this top part here where it says Start New Application. You will click on that, and then you'll have two options, independent or ILC. Beginning November 2nd, we will be receiving the independent applications. ILC applications or industry-led collaboratives will not roll out until next April, I believe is when those are scheduled. So for right now, the only option you have really is independent. So we will start an independent application by clicking on it. A couple of words about the structure of this site. What will happen is once you fill these sections in, you will have access to each one of these. Right now, it's not going to allow us because we've completed nothing in this application. But eventually, once you complete sections, you can jump to them by clicking over here on these links where the no sign is showing. So these are, this application is tied to your Pure Michigan Talent Connect account. And so you will need to have one of those prior to be able to have access to this site. And for today's purposes, I'm going to go ahead and just use made up information because I don't want to display any company's information. So I'm just going to call this Best Manufacturing and LLC. And we're going to, if we were to have been able to click on our name of our company that would already be in the system, some of this information would pre-fill, but we're going to just go from scratch because we are using made up information. Doing business as, this will be, what is your front facing name of the business? And so you will want to put that, whatever it is that you would call your business. So let's say this is called Marks Manufacturing. And that's what we call it to the public. And it's going to ask for your site or plant or facility name. We could just call this main because that's, you would name this yourself. This is not going to be front facing or showing, but it's the name used to identify your company and the specific site for which you're applying. If you have more than one location, you would need to identify which are which. For the street address, I'm just going to use a pre-filled address here. This is the local Michigan Works office in Muskegon. And this is just going to show how this all pre-fills for you, the county and such. And then as far as the NAICS code should pre-fill based upon what information you have entered into your Pure Michigan Talent Connect account. If it doesn't, there is this link to the federal NAICS website where you can go ahead and identify what your primary NAICS code is. We're just going to be wheat farmers today, so that's what we're going to say that our company is. Years in business, we'll say 46 years. This will just be the years that your company has been in business. Then we will come down to the select primary business cluster. And you're going to want to select a primary business cluster that corresponds to your business, and then a second if appropriate. Also, all along the way, there are these little question mark bubbles that will kind of give you a little bit of extra information. If you have a concern about a certain category here, this might give you a little extra information that you would need to help get it completed. So we're going to say that we are agriculture other, and we're not going to select a secondary business cluster. We don't have a website, but let's say we have 35 full-time permanent employees. And then when you complete each section, you're going to want to save and continue. Once you save and continue, that's kind of the key for the system to enable this link. So we will go ahead and save and continue. And now that this has a check mark by it, we could jump back to it if we would need to, just by going back and clicking if we wanted to add something. So moving along to Michigan tax obligations. If you resell products that you make, or if you're a distributor of some sort and have a sales tax license, you'd want to put that information in here. And then this is an important question. Are you current on all state of Michigan tax obligations? And we're going to say yes, because that's the best answer. And then save and continue. Also, this lit up, so now we can go to either of these two sections. Primary contact. So we're going to add a primary contact. This would be the person that is most going to be helpful when we're dealing with receiving documentation for this grant or more information, the point person on this project for your company is going to want to be listed here. My title is a business solutions coordinator, so I will put that in here. And this is really helpful in case we would have staff changes or whatnot. We'd know that maybe we want to deal with whoever is in this position, even if it's not this person. So we're going to save and continue. And then an alternate contact. This is information that we also require just because sometimes, like I said, people move on, people retire, people move to different positions, etc., or leave the company's employment. And so we're going to want to have a second knowledgeable person in the game here in the mix. And so I will just add a colleague's name. She is a business solutions professional, and then we'll just add her information here and email. So now we will save and continue this section. So again, the contact section has now lit up, so we can jump back to any of those sections. And that brings us to the next section of information that we will deal with in the next video. But so far, we've been able to get the basic employer information, tax obligation, and contact information all placed into our application. We've saved each section, so it check marks here, so we then can jump back to it if we would need to. And that's how you begin entering your company information into the Going Pro Talent Fund application online.